Howdy folks, welcome back to Space Engineers. We're at the borehole, that's what I'm calling it. We're over here at, what was I digging out of here? Was it silicon? I've already forgotten. No, it was, I think it was nickel. But anyway, down here, about 200 meters, is magnesium. So what I want to do is drill down and have a conveyor down there, and then we'll set up some kind of mining apparatus once we get down to the nickel. So I've been playing around, and I think I've come up with a system that'll work. We'll see. I've done some testing. I originally had this walking on rotors. So the idea is it just crawls down and it welds up more rail as it goes. And it just keeps on going until we get down to about 200 meters. The rotors didn't work out. They would sometimes flip out and Clang would visit and tears were shed. I've had better luck with the hinges, so that's the route we're going to go. One thing I did want to do, I wanted to throw an antenna on here so I could tell how deep it is, basically, when we're down there. So if I put one on the tip here, it'll be a lot smaller. Where do I have? Yeah, there is 7. So if we just put a little guy on here, like that. I'm not going to have the radio components, and I can't make the radio components, so I'm going to jetpack over to the base real quick. This is why I usually don't play with jetpacks, because they just make it too easy. But that's alright. This series that I'm doing is all about the deep ore mining. Not necessarily hardcore survival like I'm usually doing. So while we're over here, we'll top off. Let's get ourselves some radio components made. There we go. And then I'll kind of go over the setup here. I've got it set so it'll make components to weld. I'm not sure if it's going to work necessarily. I know you can do scripts and stuff and it would make it easier, but I'm trying to avoid scripts where possible. I did go with PAM just because I gave up on trying to get the in-flight blocks to work. So we'll go over the welder crawler or the drill crawler here in a minute, but basically what I've got is I'm bringing in stone. I've got a basic refinery making ingots, and then I have an assembler that's set on continuous mode. So if you go to production, I put all the parts in for that blueprint basically, and then set it on repeat. So it just keeps making parts, and then when this cargo box gets full, this event controller turns off the assembler. So it's basically watching for the cargo container to get half full. So we'll see how well that works, and then these sorters are just making sure stuff gets out the way it should. And then I've got a little gravel dump over here, because we do make a lot of gravel processing the stone, and I don't really care about the gravel. We've got plenty of gravel back in the main refinery when we need it. So let's talk a little bit about the drill here. I wonder, can I set in here? Can I kind of point at the screen? I can't really point at the screen, but let's see if I can can I get lined up on it? The camera in Space Engineers is a little weird sometimes. So basically what this is a piston with a hinge on each end. And right now it's attached to the rear hinge. It'll extend the piston out 7.5 meters to the next hinge. It'll attach on the front hinge, and then it'll detach the back hinge, and then it retracts the piston, and then it just repeats that. So I've got some event controllers and timer blocks set up to make it do that. And let's see if we can get it to work. I've had a lot of clang, so I'm going to drop a save. And then I think to kick this off, I'm trying to remember what state it's in. So take a look at the piston. Is the piston on? Yeah, the piston is on. I think I just need to reverse it out a bit and then bring it back Bring it back home. That should kick off the event controller. I might have to turn those on. I was doing some testing. Yeah, bore event controllers on. There we go. And then I think I need to do that again just to get it to kick off. Reverse. Come back to 0. That should kick off the event controller. There it goes. So it's going to crawl down. And hopefully it'll just keep on going. That's the idea anyway. And I do have the drill set to terrain clear mode. So it makes a nice big borehole. Has enough room for the welder and everything. So this projector is projecting that. And then each of those blueprints has a projector projecting itself. So it should, in theory, just keep going down. That's the theory. What I should probably have is some kind of stop button. That would be good. Let's see if we can get one of these put up. Can I steal some stuff out of there? Need some computers. There we go. And I can set up a button here just to turn that piston off. As like a fail-safe. There goes the welder. Alright, if we search for bore, we have the piston, so we'll say on, off, and reverse. It's retracting. Should attach, and then start extending on down. Oh, I forgot I was going to have it not stop the drill. So if I search for bore, we can go to event controller. No timer block. I'll leave the other one, turn them on, just in case they're off when it starts to go. I don't need it to turn those off. I just had it set that way for testing. Alright, so it should start welding here any second and get that welded up and then attach on and just keep going. And we'll see if Clang comes to visit. Hopefully not. The only thing I'm not sure about is can we keep up with the parts? It didn't look like we had a ton of large steel tubes. Uh-oh. Nope, it did attach. It is coming down. Okay. Let's hope that keeps going. And let's go check on the stock over here. Yeah, we've still got some large steel tubes. Let's go up here and get the antenna welded up. So this is the bore antenna. And show ship name. Oh, it doesn't have a name. Bore drill. There we go. Bore drill. Perfect. So we know when that gets around 180 meters or so, then we're should be pretty much at the ore. Now, there may be better ways to do this, but this is the way I came up with. And yeah, like I said, I was trying to use advanced rotors at first and kept running into problems. And the reason I had advanced rotors and I was using hinges and the conveyors and everything, I originally intended for this to drill rock and then send the rock back in, but I abandoned that plan. It was just too much trouble. Trying to get the drills to drill clearance and stuff. So I decided to go terrain clearance mode and keep it simple. So once this is all down there, what I plan to do is walk it back out, and then I can carry it somewhere else with a ship. We need to do another deep bore. Alright, that is looking good so far. How are we looking over here on parts? Still got parts in there. Yeah, it's still making it 28%. The only thing we're tight on is the large tube, so hopefully that keeps in effect. Always hard to tell, like, where it is. Ooh, it's not welding. Why is it not welding? Uh-oh. Hit the button! Yeah, why is that not welding? Is it out of something? Turn the welder off real quick. It says it's out of steel plates. Sure enough. Why are we out of steel plate? Maybe the continuous mode isn't quite working how I expect. Alright, we'll turn that off. If we go to production... Yeah, maybe this isn't quite working how I'm anticipating. So I'm going to turn off repeat mode. Yeah, it looks like it's being weird, probably because it runs out of iron. Probably makes it behave weird. Alright, well, let's queue up some sheets. Or did the refinery maybe run out of room? What's going on here? No, refinery has room. It's making iron. Why is the assembler not getting iron? Oh, there it goes. It just wasn't pulling it in because it was turned off. Okay. Well, that's why I was keeping an eye on it. So, probably need interior plates and motors and large steel tubes. So let's get some of those queued up. Interior plates. Let it start making that. I don't know how many motors we're going to need. Like 50 of those. Alright, let's let it chew through that, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, we're caught up a little bit now on parts. Let's see if we can keep this show on the road. Should be able to stand on this welder, in theory. See if we get... Yeah, I was going to say, we may get yeeted off into space. Good old Clang. Hopefully he stays away. So that's going to come down. It'll clamp on. I use timer blocks just to have like a second between each one. Just to make sure everything was settled. And that seems to be working pretty well. So let's see. When this is extended... That's 15 meters, I think. So 25 meters. So yeah, around 25 meters below the antenna is the drill when it's fully extended. So we probably want to go down when the antenna is about 180. So we got a ways to go. Let's make sure it's going to keep welding. I can keep an eye on the parts upstairs. I keep having to hop in here to grab some oxygen. Alright, we're looking good on pretty much everything. Let's get some more interior plates queued up. Got plenty of construction components and that stuff. We got some more of those made. I don't know why it... Oh, because it has a little bit, so it does those first. I think that's what's going on. So every time it welds one of those hinge parts, it uses 4 of these, so... Do need plenty of those around. Alright, let's kill that. Let's let it work on pipes for a bit. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to let it go. I have to kind of babysit it a little bit. But I didn't want to have to build, you know, like 30 pistons for a drill. So I thought we'd do an infinity miner. Fun little engineering exercise. Hopefully it just keeps on going. While we're okay, I'm going to drop a save. I'm going to let it go, and I'll bring you back in when we get down about 200 meters. Yeah, I was going to make a little time lapse there, and what I realized is I don't have parts for the projector, so that's a problem. Turn this all off here for a bit. Event controller, turn that back on. Yeah, it's out of computers, maybe? Yeah, I don't think I'm making computers. And then it was waiting on some steel plates as well. Alright, well, back up to here. We need to get some computers flying through. And we don't have any steel plates either. Probably need interior plates as well. Alright, now I can go turn the welder back on. It has to wait to make computers. So it takes a little babysitting, but it's still better than building a whole bunch of pistons, in my opinion. There we go. I wanted to make those computers. Oh, we don't need that many computers, actually. Let's see. Conveyor. No, that doesn't use computers. The hinge part shouldn't use computers. Yeah, so it's just a gyroscope. Or I keep calling it gyroscope. It's just the projector. So yeah, let's make like, say, another 20 computers, and we should be good. Alright, let's go back down here and check on it. We indeed do have the projector going again. So we should be good to go. Alert with this. Turn these guys back on. And the square piston. Should be back in business. Assuming it starts welding when it's supposed to. Yep, gets the full extension. It will then lock on. Uh-oh. And then it fails miserably. What happened? We were going so well. We turned that off. The drill turned off. Actually, I need to turn off the event controllers. I need some buttons on this thing. All right, turn that off. You're turned off. You're turned off. Yeah, what happened with the hinge here? Oh, it didn't weld the hinge part. Because it was out of something. Interesting. Is that why? So it didn't connect? No, that one is showing. No, it is fine. Okay. Oh, it's showing me the projection. The projection one is not finished. That's fine. So what's up with this? We need 0 to be the upper limit. And it doesn't want to move. Okay. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It was crawling down here just fine. And then something. Yeah, those are all on. Oh, I didn't get the event controllers turned back on. That's why. I messed it up. That's what happened. Well, how do we get this back straight, I guess is the question. Doesn't seem to have enough power here. To right itself. Maybe if we bring the piston down. Yeah, those are off. At one time I had more than one drill, so that's why that's that way. Attached mass unknown. That's interesting. Why is it not working? There it goes. I guess it's dragging. Hinge lock is off. Work is fine. Yeah, it's like it's hung up. Oh boy. Should I try cranking up the power and clang this thing out? No, that's maximum power, and it doesn't want, still doesn't want to do anything. Hinge front, that is on, so that should have power. I don't know why that's being so weird. Alright, let me get this sorted out. Look back up, and yeah, that was my bad. I turned off the event controller so it didn't attach when it was supposed to. Be right back. Well, that was fun. I was going to put a block there so I could put a piston and push it out. As soon as I did that, it started moving. Fun. Okay, so that's back down. Hinge lock off. I was going the wrong direction. Part of that was part of the problem. So let's see if we can get this set back up like it just came down and is preparing to drill again. Yeah, I want the hinge part. I want the hinge. Well, I don't know if do I want the hinge lock on? Probably not. That may lead to more tears. Okay, so I need you to attach. And then I need you to detach. I need to turn the event controllers back on. Then it should take off. Let's not do that again. It should start welding when it gets down there. Okay, well, I'm gonna get rid of this little guy. Thanks for saving my bacon there, little steel block. Steel block? Light armor block. Okay, hopefully no more shenanigans. I'm going to continue on downwards. We're getting close now, folks. About 170 or so down. What's it from here? 167? Yeah, let me go ahead and hit the stop button here. As you can see, I've been doing a little work around the top here, and it's been mostly uneventful. I had a little snafu. I think I had the wrong blueprint loaded in the blueprint of the projector. But got it all fixed up, and it's made it down to hopefully just about where the ore is. Let me get this finished welded up. We'll go down in the borehole and take a look. I brought a bunch of concrete over so I could get this welded up. Start making it look kind of like a proper mine head. It's funny, this concrete, it's a little unbalanced. It has really low volume, but huge mass. Alright, let's get our lights on. Geronimo! How are we looking down here? Well, we haven't hit ore yet. So that's good. Turn that on, let it do its thing. Hopefully we have enough parts. I kind of want to kill it as soon as I see ore, because this is in terrain clear mode, so we're just deleting voxels. Yeah, about 180 from the rover, so we should be getting close. The magnesium was about 200 meters down, 201 meters, something like that. That didn't sound good. Clang? Is Clang coming to see us? Hopefully not. That's my tank doing. Alright, we got a full hydrogen tank, so we're good. No sign of ore yet. Just about ready to hook on. You can see how far we've come down. Pretty good little ways. Okay, it is retracting. Oh, I see ore. So we hop on here and hit turn off the event controllers. It should retract down and then just sit there. Perfect. Alright, and then I'm going to switch the drill to not terrain clear mode. But then that also means this welder will hit, so I have to be careful. Alright, that block's on. If I go toggle the controllers back on, it should go ahead and start heading on down, and then I'm going to need to stop it here in a bit. Then I'd like to walk it back out of here. But I'd have to reprogram the logic a bit. I think that's magnesium. There's a dark spot there anyway. It's going to take it a little bit to get down because the terrain clearing mode makes such a big hole. Basically lets you right click with the drill without being in control of it. Just super handy. There it goes. Alright, let's turn that off. And then I want to hop down here. Go ahead and turn the event controllers back off. Have this be like 05. I want us to go down pretty slow. Turn that back on. We'll let it go get down into the ore body itself. I need to stop it right before the welder hits the rock. I think that's magnesium. But just bringing out stone. Oh, we can do this. We can say terrain clearing mode on. Oh nope, that's definitely the ore. All right, cool. We have reached it. Let that weld up a little bit. But with the vent controllers off, it should just extend all the way and then stop. Which is fine. Plenty of hydrogen, just keeping an eye on that. Okay, yep. It has stopped. Everything is good. Turn off this welder. And then the bore drill gets turned off. There we go. We have reached the magnesium. Awesome. Now what I want to do is build up some kind of mining apparatus down here. I'm not sure yet how that's going to work. I may start with something small to make like a room in the ore. Then branch out. I'm not sure. But if I grab that, I should be able to grab through here. Yeah, that's all grabbed up. And then I don't necessarily want that kind of conveyor, so I'm going to go turn this guy off. Bonk. All right, we'll go get straight conveyor tube. You want some kind of cargo access down here? Probably. I remember, isn't there like a panel? What's it called? Cargo terminal? Yeah, cargo terminal. It will use one of those on a like conveyor junction. Just for kind of something different. It doesn't stick out as far. Alright, let me swing over. Oh, I need interior plate. Yes, I do. You on like that.
Inventory full.
Story of my life. Inventory full. God, I had a whole bunch of concrete in here.
Energy low.
Yeah.
Inventory
The other story of my life. Inventory full and energy low. That's the name of the game. All that gathered up. If I had the parts, I could put a recharge terminal down here, but I don't quite have the parts for that yet. Get some of the stone cleared away. There we go. Okay, I wanted to put a panel on here. Or it's called a cargo terminal, I guess. Need interior plate. Indeed. Probably don't have the metal grids to build that. If I had to guess. Yeah, we're out of stuff up top. That's okay. We'll get recharged. Put that into production in that assembler. It doesn't take too long to recharge sitting in here. I think I need superconductors to build the little recharge station. I will build that out at some point. Possibly? I don't know. Once I set this up, I want it to be fairly automated. Come on, energy. And we're getting our bottle refilled. There we go. Dump that in there. That'd make the rover sit down and pay attention. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have my cargo access over here anymore. Well, I can dump it in the drill. Down we go again. I can clean up those projectors at some point. Yeah, we're just missing 2 metal grids. Which I don't have any cobalt over here, so I can't make metal grids. So I'm going to have to fly back to my base, get 2 metal grids. Then we'll at least have some access down there. Whee! Coming in hot. While I'm here, let me grab the parts for one of those refill stations. Wait, I can throw the ore in the... yeah, I can throw the ore right in here. There we go. Okay, refill station. Put those on the build planner. There we go. A little bit of back and forth here at the base. But we made it down like 200 meters. That's pretty nice. It took a lot of experimentation, but we got there in the end. Whee! Miscalculate that, you can splat yourself all over the bottom of the mine. It's pretty fun. Okay, there's our cargo terminal. I want to put a refill station on this side. And we can at least get power. We're not going to have hydrogen and stuff, but that's okay. Here we go. I can at least recharge down here. Now, I could have this come down a little further and just just take off the welder. So it's not hanging out in the way. This guy is narrow enough. Just want to make sure. I did turn off the event controllers, right? Yeah, the event controllers are off. You are not entering clearing mode, so we can turn you back on. And then just let this piston extend all the way down. I don't need the limits anymore. Oops. Wrong click. Let that just go slowly down and drill up some magnesium. And then I'm going to work on some kind of automated drilling system down here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Like I said, I'll get that figured out. I thank you as always for watching. That'll be it for this one. The adventure continues next time.